Hello, it's time for the Select Board update for the meeting that happened on Wednesday, November 17th. Hard to believe it's already that time in November. We started our meeting at 7 p.m. We had 3 different hearings that we had to go through. The first was for our property tax classification. So Richard Ball, our assessor, comes in and talks to us about some different reviews of the property and the assessment. The assessments, of course, for most properties have gone up a little bit. Our tax rate that we voted on will be $15.46 per thousand. The tax rate has gone down, but because property values have gone up, you will see a slight increase in your taxes for the fiscal 2022 year. From there, we went into a hearing for a road layout. This was for the High Street Extension and Weaver Road. If you head up on High Street, you'll find High Street Extension. We approved the layout hearing, and now it will go to town meeting for approval to accept those roads by the town. Our third hearing was for a change of management over at Stone's Public House. A change of manager. So we spoke to the new manager. We also congratulated him on all the great new updates and changes to the exterior of Stone's Public House. If you haven't been there recently, go and check it out. And we approved all 3 of those decisions that we had to discuss. From there, we had a presentation by area. They are Ashland Residents for Equity and Inclusion. They came to talk to us about what the organization and group has been doing. The group has been working for about a year. They're working to get their 501(c) status. They've worked with our schools, and a number of their members have been appointed or elected to some boards here in town. They meet on the 3rd Thursday of every month. If you want to go ahead and participate, it's ashlandequity.org is their website. You can check out what they're doing and sign up for their newsletters. And we thank the board members for coming and speaking with the Select Board. From there, we went into old and new business. We had a preview of town meeting, which is on December 1st. There are only 8 articles, so it should be pretty quick and pretty easy. Not too much heavy lifting this time of year. It's a lot of articles that we have to do on an annual basis. And there will be a forum on Monday, November 29th, if you'd like to hear about all the articles in more detail. We talked about the Boston Marathon. It has now been approved. The next running will be on April 18th, 2022. They are back to their spring time frame. We talked about an Eversource notice of filing for their 3-year sustainability plan. You can go online. It's one of those things that they have to do to let us know that they're working on their sustainability plan. We didn't go into much detail, but the documents are available on the website with our agendas. From there, we talked about, in more detail, the American Rescue Plan funds. We had put a survey out about 3 months ago to find out what people would like to do with those funds. We have a tentative plan of what to do with the $5.2 million. Some of it will be going to downtown work for infrastructure and water. We also have tentatively planned some property and a few other things. Again, for the detail, you can go and look at the agenda. There is some discussion as to what happens for projects where you use that money and now you're using the rescue plan funds? The money that was originally deemed for downtown is now going to be able to be used for other projects. From there, we talked about the Rotary Bench, which was donated by the Framingham Rotarians. It sits next to, over by the Ocean House, right by the waterfalls. A beautiful place to sit and reflect and enjoy our outdoor space. We then had some updates on our priority projects. So here at the Rail Transit District, we are at and getting ready for the ribbon cutting for the Trolley Brook Trail. We then talked about the downtown. We had a construction update. Eversource is doing their work in the undergrounding. If you go into downtown, you see all the work at Summer and Homer. They're trying to get that finished before the holidays or before we get further into December. The goal is to not impact the businesses downtown. From there, we talked about the public safety building and the Mendez. Again, the public safety building, you just need to drive by and you can see the work that's being done. They're currently starting to work on interior. There's a roof on the building and siding is starting to go up. The Mendez building the Mendez is having a groundbreaking ceremony in December 8th. So you can be on lookout for that and either participate or we're even going to try and live stream it on WACA-TV. From there, we talked about Route 126. Eversource is done with their gas work on Route 126, so they'll be out of the picture in regards to some of the traffic. Of course, construction is still going on. It's a project that will take till probably 2024. We then talked about the Valentine project. We went through the soil study. We are going to have to do some remediation because of arsenic that has been found, and we are going to be doing cabling to strengthen the barn before the winter, and then in the spring the barn will be taken apart and rebuilt. And the last thing we had some updates from our town manager, COVID clinic that was held at the Ashland High School for students 5 through 11. We had almost 600 students come through. It was done in conjunction with the Holliston Public Schools, and a big thank you to Ed Berman for getting that process and the clinic set up. That was for the first shot. The second shot for these students will be on Wednesday, December 1st. We talked about the Corderville Road Bridge. We're looking at the safety of that. We may have to bring it down to 1 lane. We haven't decided yet. So as that happens, we'll bring you more information on that. And we got an update on the police chief survey, the police chief search. We are working with a consultant, and town manager Michael Herbert will be setting up focus groups with different areas and different groups in the community, so be on the lookout for that. The survey is still open if you'd like to go and give your input on what is going on or what you'd like to see as a police chief here in Ashland. We wrapped up just after 10 o'clock, lots of great discussion, and that is the update for the select board meeting that happened on Wednesday, November 17th.